What is going on, everybody? I know there's nobody here. Here we go. Okay, Nate. It is the first video live stream back on the channel in over a year.
Woo!
Man, dude, this new studio that you are officially seeing right now has been in the works for a long, long time. Nate, dude, I am super excited. We have a lot to talk about for the very first day. I know it's a little bit of a late one, but we got to get the first one underneath us and ready to go. Are you ready?
I am very ready.
Okay, so we have 3 topics on what we're going to be doing. And so we're going to go ahead and go on to see what we are talking about today. So we're going to easily just go over what everything has gone on in the sports world up till now. We have the reaction of the NFL season, reaction to the NBA season so far, and then for our third topic, a little bit of a fun one that we're going to do is early NBA playoff predictions. So let's go ahead. We'll hop into the first one, and we're going to go to the NFL 2022, NFL 2023 NFL season reaction. Nate, what is your beginning thoughts of the NFL last season? What would you say?
I think it was a great season overall. In my opinion, it didn't come close to last year's playoffs, but it was a very good playoff series this year. As far as the Cowboys, they're about like they always are, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes.
I thought the Super Bowl was just a well-fought game. You can say what you want, but at the end of the day, it was just a really well-fought battle by both teams.
Right.
So that's really all I got to say about it.
Okay.
To the point.
Okay. I'm going to say, too, that the NFL season, I'm going to say it was a pretty good one. There was a lot of stuff I did not predict that was going to happen. There was some crazy, crazy games. And I would say, too, that Patrick Mahomes, obviously you can see on the TV right now, got his second Super Bowl. Congrats to him, dude. Andy Reid, obviously he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Patrick Mahomes, if he retired right now, I would already say that, yes, he would go to the Hall of Fame right now. First ballot Hall of Fame.
I'd give him another year. Let him win another Super Bowl.
Dude, I already think he's like top 5 QB of all time. Dude, he's that good. I mean, if you match him up to what Tom Brady did in his first 6 seasons, dude, it's literally identical. I mean, yeah, Tom Brady has one more ring, but everything else, Patrick Mahomes is like even better and stuff. I mean, it is crazy, literally crazy.
And I will say this while I'm thinking about it. We were talking about some surprising things throughout the whole season. The Detroit Lions, for me, were quite the surprise. Them and the Jets. You know, they're always those teams at the bottom of the barrel. You always think, oh, these guys again, easy win for our team. But they actually did really good.
Yeah, they
If
did.
you think about other seasons, if I recall correctly, didn't the Lions have a winning record? Or pretty close to it?
I think they did have a winning record because they beat Green Bay the very last game of the season that kicked Green Bay out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, dude,
So I was definitely rooting for them on the side, even though I'm a Cowboys fan, but I was rooting for them on the side because,
right.
I mean, I watched Hard Knocks, and I just got attached.
Yeah.
But, and then there's the Jets, usually they get 3 wins. They had about 7.
I think they're a quarterback away, and what it's looking like right now, Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr may be going. So,
yeah.
But, okay, let's talk about the NFL playoffs. So, obviously, we had the first seed that was the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, a little bit controversy went into that a little bit, but and then you had the who was the Eagles? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So Cowboys beat the Bucks. We have the Giants beating the Vikings. Then we have obviously San Francisco beating Seattle, which Seattle was winning at halftime, which actually was pretty shocking. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
something that the 49ers are actually pretty good at, in my opinion, in the playoffs especially. They're really good at kind of going past those expectations, in my opinion, because I remember them last year. I really thought the Cowboys had them in literally just the first round, and they just kind of kept going and kept going.
Right.
They're really good at that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, and then we get to the other side, the AFC. We got Chargers, Jaguars, Bengals, Ravens, and Dolphins and Bills. And obviously, you can tell on the screen right now that the Jags won, Bengals and Bills won. Now, the Bengals game and the Bills game, I did not expect that. Now, I
That
had
was something.
I had Cincinnati winning, but man, that was a blowout.
I had the Bills winning, honestly. I really like the Bills. I like Josh Allen a lot. And I
Yep.
really had them winning. But at the same time, that's kind of
Yeah.
that's Bengals football. Like they're able to go past what you think they can do. I mean, we saw them during the regular season. They had quite the rocky start, and I stopped paying attention to them. Like, yeah, they made second round. They made second in the Super Bowl, and now they're just kind of going down the drain. And then they
Right.
picked it up real quick. So it's just kind of like that beating the odds thing. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
been going on all season on all teams.
Yeah. And also too, what I would say is that the Bills had a really good season, but there was some losses during the season that were really like y'all should have won.
Yeah.
Like I said, for example, the Vikings game when the Bills were at home and you literally were on the just needed to take a knee and you won the game and you fumbled on your goal line and they got the ball and scored. And you cannot forget about the Justin Jefferson catch, the one-handed snag on like 4th down and 23. Dude, that was insane. I mean, that ball never hit the ground either. But okay, so let's go ahead and go on to the divisional round. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way for the Cowboys and 49ers. Cowboys, you absolutely sold. But our defense came and showed up, but I am blaming Dak completely. If he would have played
As he
like
should, I mean,
he literally sold the game away. If he would have played like a average quarterback, we would have won that game. We would have. And I
that's
think
the problem. That's the problem. He doesn't play like an average quarterback. He plays like bottom of the barrel quarterback that you'd have to scrape out of 5th round. I'm going to be that harsh. And they're paying him more than any quarterback's ever been paid in the league. Like record setting, $40 million.
right, yeah.
And he hasn't played hard since. And the same thing goes with Zeke. They're getting paid more than any player in the league to date. And ever since they got paid, they've never been the same Dak or Zeke since those first 2 years when they came to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They've just been a letdown.
Yeah.
And until we get that fixed, which who knows when that's going to be,
I don't know, dude.
when you dig yourself a hole like that, like it's really hard to recover from something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, what I would have to say about it too is Cowboys, and like I keep saying too, I think it starts with the ownership. It starts there.
It always starts with the ownership.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it starts with the ownership.
And the ownership is not going to change till, I don't mean to be harsh or anything or be that guy, but it doesn't feel like anything's going to change till either Jerry dies or for some inexplicable reason he decides to give it up because he's not a football GM. He's a money-making GM.
He's a very good businessman.
He's
Very,
a great
very,
businessman,
very good businessman.
And because of that, he doesn't know the first thing about football, it feels like.
No.
And he doesn't know who to put in what position because
he just doesn't. He does not need to be the general manager. He's the owner, the president, and the general manager. No, go hire one. You do not need to take care of 3 jobs at once.
you could use the money you overpaid Dak to
exactly.
go hire someone who can be effective and competent
Yeah.
instead of paying the most money to the guy who's going to sell you the most T-shirts. And I know that's hard for you to understand because money making is what you do. That's how you got to where you are. I get that. But there's a certain point where money making doesn't win football games. And the football team, and the success of the Cowboys should come first.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I would say too that I would really think, because like I said, and it showed in the Super Bowl that yes, Jalen Hurts played out of his mind, but I said it the whole season. Yes, they were really good. They had a cakewalk the entire season and in the playoffs. I mean, what? Yes, you get a first round bye. You play against the Giants.
That's an easy win.
Then you play, San Francisco. You play against what? A fifth string quarterback? Christian McCaffrey started to play quarterback.
They still didn't let him in. They put the third string hurt guy back in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever
Dude, he
his
couldn't
name
even
is,
throw.
Spurgeon.
He was the fourth string quarterback. Whatever. He said he's been in the NFL season for 15 years. I don't know.
He's still only fourth string. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, but had a long career. I mean, he's stayed in the league for that long. But it's crazy to show how amount of teams he's been on. Shoot, he's been on every single team imaginable.
Just about.
Oh, yeah. But, okay. Oh, so we got the Cowboys out of the way. We got...
Rants over.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead. Yeah, so we got the Bengals winning, and then the Chiefs, took care of business against the Jags. Now, one quick thing right before we jump into the AFC and the NFC championship game. Dude, Patrick Mahomes played the whole playoffs on one leg. Literally on one leg. Dude, imagine what he would have done if he was completely healthy. Holy cow.
It wouldn't have been a debate. It wouldn't have been as close in the Bengals game. I don't think so. Because I didn't watch that whole game all the way through. I watched the ending. But from what I saw, they won the game because a Bengals player made a very poor choice to draw a foul. And that gave them the opportunity to win the game, which imagine if he was healthy, they wouldn't have even been in that situation.
No, they wouldn't.
If we had 100% Pat Mahomes, I think it would have been about like the Eagles were.
Yeah.
Because he's that kind of quarterback.
Exactly, yeah.
And the fact that he can do it without being 100%, I think that's a testament to his leadership, his ability to carry the team.
Yep.
Whenever they need him most, because even in the Super Bowl, he got hurt and it looked bad. In that moment, I was like, okay, it looks like the Chiefs are going to lose.
Yeah.
Eagles get another win. And he still came through and won that game, made the comeback win to win that game.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the game was very good. That I believe if they did not get that penalty and put him into field goal range, it could have been different.
It could have been different.
Yeah, the guy who caused the penalty was literally on the sideline crying. I mean, literally, you made it all the way to that point.
Because he gets it.
Yeah,
he gets it.
Man, it's just
one call could
crazy.
have made the whole difference. Could have been Eagles and Bengals.
Yep, and then of course you have Eagles having a cakewalk in the NFC Championship game, going to Super Bowl, and now we have the big game, as you can tell on your screen. We have the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, second NFL MVP and second Super Bowl MVP. He is the very first quarterback to do it since Kurt Warner in 1999 to win the MVP and the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's a testament to him, and like I said, literally playing on one leg. That's crazy, but that's what I said too, because see that the Eagles, came out firing. Jalen Hurts played like an MVP. Don't get me wrong, he played unbelievable, but he finally went against the best quarterback in the league. They finally went against a top tier team, in my opinion. They finally did, and look what happened.
I'm gonna be honest too. I thought the Eagles played great this season. I thought they were gonna win the Super Bowl, and that just goes to show you, not everything's as it seems. But Jalen Hurts, he's definitely a great quarterback. But the thing, in my opinion, is we think about Lamar Jackson. He's still pretty good.
Oh yeah,
but he used to be great. He used to be the top.
He's been getting his body's kind of worn out. He's got hurt.
He's starting to wear down a little bit, and I think that's kind of where Jalen Hurts is going. And I think in a couple years he won't be at the level that he was this year. This was definitely a great year for him. I think he needs to take advantage of it because he won't have very much longer. But Patrick Mahomes, we see the same thing from him every year since he's come on. It's a consistent, epic warrior out there.
Dude, I mean, I truly, Patrick Mahomes, I could honestly see them going back to back next year. I mean, especially in my opinion, their wide receiver core is not the top in the league. It's the middle of the pack.
It's kind of like that good enough.
Oh, I know. And see what he can do with it, and that's what I'm saying. Dude, if you can keep building this defense up and give him a stud wide receiver number one, I could see them going back to back easily. I could see them going back to back. And now
I could see them doing it with just the team they have.
Oh yeah, I could see you doing it too. And just keep adding. If you especially keep building this defense, Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, oh yeah, and that's. But now I'm gonna say too, for the final thoughts of the NFL season, I'm gonna say congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you perfectly deserve this. Congratulations. I'm happy for Andy Reid, especially getting his second Super Bowl ring.
Good for him.
I know. Congratulations to y'all. So now, do you have anything left to say for the NFL, or do we?
I think we've said just about everything there is.
Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and hop into our next topic, which is the 2022-2023 NBA season so far. And now, obviously, some of the things that you can see on your screen is that we've had here recently 2 71-point games here recently. That's crazy. We had our first ever, all-star game, big trophy for the winner. And they also, too, I didn't put a picture up here. They had the first ever winner of the all-star game got a ring. I just recently saw that. And then, of course, the big one right in the middle of your screen that you can tell is Luka and Kyrie Irving.
That is the elephant in the room, absolutely.
Yes.
I'll level with y'all. I haven't been very much following the NBA right now, but I'll always be a part of the Mavs, and I'll always stay current with them. And they've been kind of off and on, which it feels like it's kind of like that with a lot of Dallas sports. They're just kind of off and on.
Yeah.
And I think the Mavs are a great team. I mean, we saw that last year. I thought they did a really good job going as far as they did. I think they could do it again this year.
Yeah.
But as far as Luka, last year he had Kristaps. He had plenty of guys to back him up. And now, this season, he doesn't have them as much, especially losing Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a personal favorite of mine.
Oh, yeah. I like
I
Spencer
love
Dinwiddie.
Spencer.
Yeah.
And losing guys like that, he's running out of people to really have that chemistry with on that level like he did with them.
Exactly.
So I think Kyrie can really open up that opportunity again to find a player to match his level of playing ability, athleticism, intensity.
Right.
Just the skill level on both of them will be, I think it could be a potential great match.
Oh, yeah. And the West is so close right now. I mean, literally, everyone's the standings are decided by a game. And speaking about standings, our next topic, we are going to be choosing our early playoff predictions, what you'll be able to tell here once we get done with this topic. And you'll be able to see, like I just said, the standings and see how close everything is. Then we'll be making our tier lists to go along with that. Now, to go over these, let's go to the East side. Milwaukee just recently, I think it was either yesterday or today, just took over the number 1 seed from Boston because Boston just lost to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson went off, former Mav, like we were just saying.
I love Jalen too. Wish we could have kept him.
Oh, yeah. Great player. He's having a great season, by the way. Amazing. He's having an amazing season.
That's good.
But yeah, and then let's go ahead and say, like I said, the 2 71-point games, dude, that's crazy. Like Damian Lillard, you can see on your screen right now, it has the stats on the bottom of his pictures. Yeah, he went 22 for 38 from field goal made percentage, 13 of 22 3-point shot.
That's awesome.
That is crazy. He almost broke Klay Thompson's record of 3 points in a game. That
says something.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say this much. As far as I know, the record for the most points by an individual, I think, is still held by Wilt Chamberlain, right?
Oh, yeah, 100 points.
Yeah, 100 points. I don't think anyone's really come that close to it. And the fact that we're getting to a point where we have 2 71-point games, and we're getting to that point where it's not just 1 but 2, and it's going to keep getting more. The
nearly
talent's
back to
going
back.
up. And I think in a couple years, that record, people will be contending with that record pretty closely, if not breaking it.
Well, also, too, you would say the talent of the NBA now is so much yes, the NBA, in my opinion, is softer right now.
It is
I can
softer,
say
but
that,
it's also a different game. It's hard to compare it to.
Very different game. In I'm not going to lie, the talent level is by far a lot better than what it was.
I think it's the best that it's been at, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen a lot of talent. We've seen Michael Jordan. We've seen the 86 Lakers.
Yeah.
Great teams with great talent, but we're starting to see that more consistently in the years to come. And I think at that point, sure, they're getting softer, but everything gets a little softer with time.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, we'll be looking back and saying Man, y'all are soft. We had it way harder, and that's going to be the truth.
Yeah. Um, and I would say about that too, yeah, that everyone like how you could say with Luca too as well. With the I just heard somebody on the radio here recently saying yes, he complains a lot on the fouls and stuff like that, but yeah, you got to take that under control and stuff. And yes, I personally agree with that as well. You need to stop that because that's not going to help you out.
It's like the boy who cried wolf. Even the ones that are the fouls, they're not going to take you seriously because you always keep saying everything's a foul. And I love you, Luca, but I think you need to take it down a notch because they're going to stop taking you seriously as far as that stuff is concerned.
They just don't care anymore. Basically, they just don't care. They're like, oh, here he goes complaining again.
Here comes Luca.
Okay. So, yeah, we haven't explained as much as that we were going to with the NBA, of course. Now, what we're going to do is going on to our third topic because it's still NBA related. Going to do a tier list. There's like 20 games left in the NBA season, and we are going to be doing our tier list early playoff prediction. So, if we are ready to go.
I'm ready to go if you are.
All right. So, I'm going to go ahead. Here it is. Our topic, the early NBA playoff predictions. I just placed it up. There's no teams there, but we are going to be switching it over to, well, what I have pulled up right here for us. Okay. Let's first go over to the NBA standings on your screen right now. And Nate, I'm going to let you take it away because one of my cameras just went out. So go ahead. You start talking about the East side first.
Well, like I said earlier, I haven't really been keeping up with the NBA this year, but I think the Bucks, obviously, they're going to make it. Celtics got it. I think the Nets could still be in the running for it because, like we said earlier, everything's just a game away from being completely different. It takes one win, one loss. Oh, we're having a couple technical difficulties. All right, anyway, like I was saying, I think the Nets could still be in the running for it. As far as the Heat, I think maybe they're running out of options here. They're getting a little close to the line. Everyone else, I don't really have any other complaints. I mean, kind of speaks for itself.
Sorry about that, y'all. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. The cameras accidentally switched off. Don't know why that happened, but they should be good now and set for a good period amount of time. I don't know. Don't know. Sorry, don't know why they shut off. Okay, so like you just said,
I think you should take it the rest of the way for the Eastern.
Okay. Let me do the rest for the Eastern side. Okay. So we have Bucks, like I just said. They just took over the number 1 seed. And, well, they're obviously in the lead, you can tell. But then you have Celtics, 76ers, Cavaliers, Knicks, Nets, Heat, Hawks. I see the Nets are going to keep dropping. Heat and Hawks are going to keep rising. Actually, the Magic's doing a little bit better. They're not going to be a playoff contention. But I have Bucks going in as the number 1 seed. Good stuff. So, but then we have Celtics, that. Now, we're just not going to talk a lot about the standings here. Now, let's take a look at the Western Conference, actually, real quick. We got the Nuggets. I think they're a clear favorite to win the number 1. Clear favorite. And I see the Suns jumping up. Actually, speaking of that, Kevin Durant makes his season debut tomorrow as a Phoenix Sun.
That's going to be something.
Very, very crazy.
I'm still a little bit skeptical, though, because we know what happened with the Nets. You have a team of all-stars, and they underperformed. So
yeah,
I think that's great, but you just got to be a little bit careful with that.
Yeah. So, and then obviously my 2 favorite teams is Mavericks and Warriors. They're literally right next to each other. But like I said, like all the games are literally separated by like 1 game, 2 games, like wins, losses. I mean, that's literally it.
I mean, one win for the Mavs could get them to 5th place. It could get them to 8th place.
I mean, literally, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think the Suns are going to keep rising. I think the Grizzlies are going to fall. I see the Suns hopping up to the 2 seed. Grizzlies probably falling down to the 4. Like, I don't know. It's so close, but there's not much to talk about here. But what we're going to do now is head over to the NBA tier list. So this is what we're going to do. We are in the Eastern Conference right now. and we're going to decide which one will get the first, second, third, all the way down to the 8th seed. So, and we can be in agreement here that we have to both decide which one goes in that spot. So do we want to start with go from bottom to top, or do we want to start from the top and then go to the bottom?
I say we go bottom to top.
Go bottom to top?
Yeah.
Okay, so our first one we have is the 8th seed, and we're going to do all teams that belong to the Eastern Conference. So let's see. Well, obviously, you know what? Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's just go ahead and say that who do you have as your number 1 seed? Because I am looking at this list. Hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Yep. I'm making sure all the teams are there. Sorry. Had to make sure right before we get started.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looked a little short. Short.
But there's 30 NBA teams, and there was 30 players there. So I said players, teams. Okay. Let's just agree on, the first one. Let's just the first seed. Who do you have as the first seed? Like, we just looked at the standings. Who do you have as your first seed?
Definitely the Bucks. I mean,
You have the Bucks?
they're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I can trust them with that.
Yeah, I have the Bucks at the number 1 seed. I completely agree with that. So now it's the number 2 seed. I know we wanted to go from bottom to top. I think it's actually kind of easier to go from top to bottom,
Yeah,
to be
it
honest.
is.
So for the number 2 seed, I'll let you go first. Who do you have for your number 2 seed?
I think I'm just going to keep it at the Celtics.
You can keep Celtics?
They've always been kind of off and on good, but I think they can hold on to it long enough to maintain the 2 seed.
Okay. So I could go along with that. I see that as well. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Celtics. They've been very consistent all year. I think the Celtics will be the number 2 seed. I see that. Okay, let's hop on into the 3rd seed. And
You take your pick.
okay, I'll go first. So obviously we have Cleveland, we have the Sixers,
The Knicks.
yeah, you have the Knicks and all those teams.
They're all pretty close
They're
contenders in
close,
that area.
but I think for myself, I'm gonna go for I'm debating between the 76ers and Cleveland. I'm gonna go 76ers.
I'll go with you on that.
You go 76ers?
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
But definitely Cavs for number 4.
Cavs
for
for
me.
number 4. I think this is really close to we could say the standings. Yeah, very close. But the East is so much more, in my opinion, spread out than the West. Okay. So 4 seed, do we agree with Cleveland?
4 seed, we agree with Cleveland.
Okay. So now we're getting into the 5th. So we have either Nets, we have the Hawks. We also too have the Raptors, and just going over, we still have Knicks, Nets, Heat, Hawks, Raptors, Wizards, all those. But I think the next one I'm going to actually go with for the 5th seed, I'm probably going to go with the Knicks because they've been looking really decent here lately.
I was going to kind of go with the Nets.
Well, remember, too, they've lost a lot of pieces, and they have been on a losing streak here recently. And I see them keep dropping. I think they're going to keep dropping.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think we're
at this point, it's definitely more of a consistency question more than a boom question because we're getting to that point. You got to maintain.
And now we're also too. We're not talking about play-in tournament as well because if you're in the bottom 7, 8, we have that play-in tournament. These teams are not going to be in the play-in tournament. If 6 seed and above are not going to be in the play-in tournament. So speaking of that, then I'm going to probably go with Atlanta for 6 because, like I said, I think it's going to keep dropping.
I think the Nets might actually end up at the 8th seed.
Okay, I can see that.
If it's going the way it is. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know as much about the NBA right now, but if what you're saying, they're on a losing streak right now.
Yeah, they lost literally their big 3, which in my opinion is probably the biggest 3 super team bust in NBA history and the biggest failure.
It really was.
Yeah, it could literally be the biggest failure that you
we're
had.
talking about big names
Oh yeah,
That's probably the biggest lineup of superstars I've seen in a while.
exactly.
One of them, anyway. And it just did not go the way anyone wanted it to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I mean, like I literally saw when they added DeMarcus Aldridge. I said Lamar. Well, Aldridge, that used to play for the Spurs. I saw that it was a couple years ago when they really started, and I saw that, and they had Blake Griffin. So I looked at their starting lineup. I was like, holy cow, that lineup is insane.
It really was.
It was insane.
I will tell you now, like, I was a little interested to see how it would go because, I mean, you take a team of all-stars. They're all used to being the top dog, the leader of the team. So what would happen if you put all three of them on the same team?
Yeah.
How is that going to mess up with the hierarchy and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And I think it proved its point. It didn't work out as well as they had hoped.
No, it didn't.
Honestly, they didn't decide who was really leading the charge. That's how I see it.
Well, also, too, they, like, all three of them combined only played, 11, 12 games together? Because there was always hurt. One of them was always hurt, or two of them. But, okay, so going back with the 7th to 8th seed, so we agree with the Nets possibly falling to the 8th.
I agree with that.
Okay, and then we still have the Heat. I think they're at 7, or I could see them possibly switching with Atlanta.
They're probably going to be pretty tight for the rest of it.
I could see.
It could go either way.
So are we good with?
I'm good with that.
You good with this?
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is what we have for our Eastern Conference playoff bracket set going into the playoffs. So we have Bucks, Celtics, 76ers, Cavaliers, Knicks, Hawks, Miami Heat, and the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the 7th and 8th seed, obviously, like, to get into those spots, you'll be in a play-in tournament. The top 6 seeds will not be. So this is your look at it. And so now we are going to switch it over to the Western Conference. And
That's
then,
my conference.
now, once we end this, right before the live stream ends and we decide to conclude for today for our first one back, we're going to give our finals 2-team choice and our champion for a even bigger prediction or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So now moving on to the Western Conference, I'm gonna stick with the number 1 because they have a big lead, and I think they're gonna keep winning and solidified themselves as the number 1 team in the West. Now teams are obviously gonna get really close, especially with Phoenix, but I'm gonna go with Denver as the number 1 seed.
Denver is leading pretty hard right now. It's gonna be hard to top them right now.
Yes. I'm going to go with Denver. And also, too, I'm probably going to leave it at this camera angle as well, as long as we keep talking, because it is the best camera angle for y'all to see on the screen without
Hold on.
For being...
We had Denver at top.
No, we're going to stick with Phoenix. Are you serious? No, I'm just playing. My bad, y'all. Just going to stick with the Phoenix. I have them at 2, going all the way up to 2.
Really?
Yep, I have them going all the way up to 2. Let me go find Denver. Sorry about that. Okay, so who do you have as your second seed?
As my second seed, I honestly have the Grizzlies.
Still
the Grizzlies. I mean, they can be off and on, and especially where it is right now, that's kind of a weird place to be because you don't really want to be off and on when it's this close.
Yeah.
But I think the Grizzlies could take it, and honestly, either them or the Suns, I would have them as my finals pick.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So
I like the Grizzlies. I like them.
I'm not as a big fan as the Grizzlies, maybe as you are. I like John Morant. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. I do not like Dylan Brooks at all. He's a very, very dirty player. But I mean dirty, not dirty player, but you need one of those like they kind of said like one of those villain players in the league that everybody doesn't like or something, but he brings something to the team. That's what I mean. But he is a good player though. I will give him that.
It's kind of like the other player. I don't remember his name, but he's definitely he was the player that people described as everyone hates him whenever he's
on
not
the same
their
team. Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely that embodiment. I don't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure at some point he was on the Grizzlies.
Yeah. So you have Grizzlies at 2. I have Phoenix Suns at 2.
I'll leave Phoenix at 2.
You want to leave
Grizzlies at 3.
You want to put
Grizzlies or Mavs at 3.
Ooh.
I think the Mavs could go. And once they get the fit with Kyrie Irving going, almost said Kyler Murray, my bad. I think as soon as they get the chemistry with Kyrie and Luka down, I think that could be a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the league, it could go either way, but I think I'm staying positive, and I think once they get it figured out, which may not take that long, I think they could take that and run with it, even where they are right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably stick with the Memphis Grizzlies at 3.
I'll give that to you.
I'm gonna stick with the Grizzlies at 3.
But definitely Mavs at 4 for me.
We'll do Mavs at 4. I want to go ahead and look back at the standings on the Western Conference real quick. So yeah. Oh, we can't forget about the Kings and stuff too. The Clippers.
I totally forgot about the Kings.
Whew, yeah, they're 35-25.
That's
something. That's definite.
They've almost got number 3 clinched up. Just about.
And actually, looking at it now, the Grizzlies and Kings are 36 and 35. I may swap. I think I may drop the Grizzlies down to 4. And
I'd be fine with putting the Kings right at 3.
I think I like the Kings at 3.
And I guess it makes more sense for the Mavs to be at 5.
Yeah, I am shocked I'm saying that, but
I don't really pay much attention to the Kings, but
dude, they just keep winning. I don't know how, but they just keep winning.
Where they are right now, I mean, I don't see them not being where they are where we have them.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put Mavs at 5. Now we still have Clippers are ahead. The Mavs and Warriors right now
they are neck and neck.
6th and 7th seed. But like I said, everyone is literally like the Clippers are 1 game ahead, and Phoenix is literally 1 game ahead of us. 1 game. They're 1 game. So, and like I said, the Mavericks could easily go on a win streak, but I have Mavericks probably at the 5th seed, and then I have. Would you go with the Clippers at 6?
I'd probably go with the Clippers I'd put the Clippers, either them or the Warriors at 6th, because the Warriors, in my opinion, they'll always be one of those contenders. They're never like completely out of the conversation.
Yeah. Well,
it feels a little weird putting them at 7.
And I can see that too because, like I said, we'll take a look again.
It's kind of hard
the
for me
Warriors
to choose between those 2.
And Mavs are literally like 1 game off. The Clippers are 1. And the Warriors can easily go on a win streak too. My other favorite team. So yeah, honestly, because the Warriors do have that definitely playoff experience. I mean, shoot. They're world champions last year, defending world champions. I mean, let's go. But so honestly, yeah, really thinking about it now, I'm probably gonna switch it. Do you want to switch? I think we'll go to Warriors at 6.
I'll go Warriors 6 and Clippers at 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, and then at 8, let's see. The Jazz, I think right now are at 8. Are the Jazz at 8? Yes, right now the Jazz are at 8, and we still have the Timberwolves. So. We can't
are also not out of the conversation.
Neither are the Lakers, actually, even though, yes, Dallas literally blew a 27-point lead on Sunday and still lost, but LeBron just got hurt.
LeBron did get hurt.
Yes, so I think...
I don't really know about the Lakers. I think they're still...
I'm not going to put them at the 8. I don't see it happening.
I'd have them at like 9 or 10.
Yeah, I see them being in play-in tournament. I see that, but... I don't know.
I don't know who we're going to put at the 8th seed, though.
I'm guessing for now,
I'd like to put Timberwolves.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at Timberwolves and Jazz, but I think Timberwolves have a better team. So I'm going to go with Timberwolves. So, but yeah, that was
a pretty difficult tier list, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think the West is a lot more difficult than the East.
Feels like it's always been that way.
Yeah. Well, also, too, like the West, after John Morant said, I'm fine in the West. Well, look what you said, and look what happened. I mean, literally on an interview, you said, I'm fine in the West. Yeah, KD comes over here. Kyrie comes over here to the Mavericks. Warriors and all these other teams are still really good, and I mean, I don't see them winning a championship this year. Or it's just I don't know. You never know what could happen. Literally, you don't know what could happen. So now we have obviously our first seed. We have Denver and the Bucks as the first seed. But we'll go through the Western Conference real quick. We have Denver, Phoenix, Kings, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Warriors, Clippers, and Timberwolves. So now what we're going to say is, what do you think is going to be the Western and Eastern Conference matchup? We'll end the live stream off. We'll end this off with our picks in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals preview, and then the NBA Finals picks that we also have for early, because there's still 20 games left. And then we'll probably come back again, see if we were right, look at this again, and see. Well, okay. I'm going to leave it up to you, though. Who do you have? You want to start with West? Okay, you start with the West.
This might sound a little crazy, but I don't actually have Denver in the Western Conference.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm thinking Suns, because I think
they
always follow through.
And you have Kevin Durant.
They do have Kevin Durant.
You have Kevin Durant, so.
If he stays not hurt.
Yeah, that is true.
And then, honestly, either Grizzlies or Mavs.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'm a big Mavs guy, and if they can figure out the chemistry with Kyrie and Luka, like I said, they can boom. But I know that's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to hold true to them. They got really close last year. And then the Grizzlies, I just feel like they're doing really good. And I know I'm leaving the Kings out of it, but like I said, I don't pay much attention to them.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you, what you just said. I have my two teams in the Western Conference. I have Phoenix. And for my second team, I'm not going to count out the Warriors. I can't count them out.
I know what you're saying.
Because they do have that playoff mentality, and they know what it takes.
surprises
A
me
little bit biased. I do have a little bit of bias there.
I feel that.
I do, but you still have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. You got all those players that know what to do. They've won 4 championships. Let's go.
Yeah, some of the classic guys.
It should not have lost 2016, but we're not going to get into that.
Whatever.
But yeah, shoot. The second team I would probably go with.
It's almost hard to tell at this point.
I could go with Denver.
You could go Denver?
I could, because it would be first and second seed. It could be first and second seed, and they'll obviously split off into the bracket, and then you would meet into the Western Conference Finals. So yeah, I could have Phoenix and Denver in the Western Conference.
I definitely don't fault that at all. I can see that. There's something about being at the 1 seed. I feel like that could go away really quickly. Once you hit the playoffs, it doesn't mean as much.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all those records, all that stuff, it just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. But yeah, and then my choice, did you give a choice on who you would win in the Western Conference?
I did not give my choice, but I think whoever it's going to be, like I said, it was either going to be Grizzlies or Mavs, more likely Grizzlies, and the Suns, and I'm thinking Suns again.
Yep, I was going to say too, Suns.
They do have that playoff mentality, and they do have some really good talent.
It's trying to get that first,
positions.
Trying to get that first wing ever for the organization too.
Yeah,
trying to get that first ever.
I think they could do it. They got close last year.
Yep,
and we could be looking at another finals like last year.
Oh, we could. Yeah, we could.
Think about it. Last year, they didn't lose that finals.
Yeah,
Milwaukee earned it. But
yeah.
I think they still have a shot for it this year.
Yeah, like Milwaukee, that was 2 years ago they won it. Then it was So I would say so now let's go over to the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna say that I think it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna go with Milwaukee and Boston. I think it's pretty simple.
Those are the 2 most consistent teams.
I think that's pretty simple.
I agree with that.
But now a little bit. I don't like Boston as much, but I'm gonna pick Milwaukee. I'm picking Milwaukee
too. Like I said, I think it's gonna be another.
I think it could be a 7-game series. It could
It could definitely be a 6-7 game series.
Very, very easily, yes.
I'm
especially
thinking back and forth.
Yeah, but for that one, I have Bucks in probably 7. I think I'll have Bucks in 7. Yeah,
I think I'd have Bucks in 6.
I could see that too. I could see 6 or 7. I agree to that.
I think the Celtics will hold them pretty strong at the beginning of it, but
yeah, I could see Boston going on too and stuff, but I just be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Boston. I like some of their players. I just don't like Boston, but No one can stop Giannis. I'm sorry. No one can stop Giannis.
He's one of my favorite big men I've ever seen.
Yeah. So our two teams that we have going to the NBA Finals is Phoenix and Milwaukee Bucks.
Repeat.
NBA Finals preview, or you could say rematch from 2 years ago. And now we're going to say who we think is going to win for our early predictions for 20 games off of the NBA season being over. Who do you think is going to pull it out this year?
I really think it's going to be in 7 either way.
Yeah, I see
And
7 games.
I'm tempted to say Suns, but I'm thinking Milwaukee.
Now, I would lean more Milwaukee, but there's a but.
There's definitely a but.
Because of Kevin Durant. That's why.
He is that X factor.
That is that huge X factor. He brought it in, and the odds for them to win the championship skyrocketed when he came in. And so,
I mean, again, I am still a little bit skeptical about stuff like that. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you got that team chemistry, and here comes this big, like, all-star, this leader.
and I would say too, like, yes, Kevin Durant has played with really good point guards, but I think this is the true number one point guard he's actually like played with, like someone who can actually like be the true number one point guard. Yeah, you had Russ, you had Steph Curry, yes, all like Steph Curry, Hall of Fame easily. Russell Westbrook's going to go to the Hall of Fame, but what I mean, like Steph Curry is the all-time greatest shooter of all time, no doubts in my mind ever. And then Russell Westbrook is a triple-double machine, but Chris Paul is like that true point guard, like because he does everything. Like he can easily
We're
take
talking
control
about a
of.
guy at that height that can still get rebounds.
Yeah,
It's like that's got to count for something.
yeah. So I'm gonna say just because of Kevin Durant, and now like I said, Bucks could easily win. I say it's a 7-game series, goes back and forth. I have Suns in 7.
Suns in 7. I could agree with that, but I also think Milwaukee in 7.
I could see easily Milwaukee too. And like I said, I know we chose these two teams. Like I said, there's still 20 games left in the regular season. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in the play-in, playoffs. Like I said,
For all we know, neither one of those teams will make
oh
it.
yeah, like we know they could easily lose not easily lose. I doubt they'll lose in the first round. Doubt it. But I'm just saying, you don't know. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Literally, you like, dude. Jason Tatum and Giannis could easily Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown could easily like both get injured or like do something to their knee or shoulder something and be out for like a month. Like Giannis could be out for a month or something. Like you never know. Players could get injured. Things could happen. You don't know. Anything could happen. That's what I'm saying. There's 20 games left. We still got March. We got March in the beginning, a little bit of April to go, and then the play-in tournament starts, and then we get into the playoffs. But as of now, because it's just of Kevin Durant with the Suns, with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre, that's amazing how they got Kevin Durant and they kept all those pieces. That's what amazed me, that they kept all those pieces and they still got him.
One thing's for sure, whoever wins that matchup, they definitely earn it. The other team, like, I don't see them losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoever wins that, it's not going to be bad calls. It's not going to be missed opportunities. It's going to be the other team had more grit and earned their win.
Exactly. But yeah, that is our early playoff prediction.
That's all I've got.
And has been our first episode episode video, whatever you want to call it. This has been our first one back and over the year. Hope everyone likes the new studio and stuff, and it will continue to get better, keep getting upgrades, more decorations, everything. But this has been the work for over a year and the first ever live stream and stuff on the channel, and it will just continue to get better and better and better. Nate, I want to thank you so much, man, for coming on. It's been very, 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 very nice for you to join me on the very first Gabe Dutton show live stream with the new studio.
It feels good. I really like the studio. I really
Yeah,
do.
I try to make it look as most professional as I possibly could. And for tomorrow, we're going to be having another one. I was saying around like probably 1:30 tomorrow with, like, obviously y'all know who. Landon is going to be joining me tomorrow.
Big Lando.
Yep. And we can have even more than one guest because I can easily add on another person as well. But that's it. Thank you, Nay, again so much for joining, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I know there's probably not a lot of people that have joined us stuff, but you know what? It is a good ground to set. And, hey, just good to get started back up again. That's all that matters to me. I'm really happy that we've started back up. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will see y'all next time on the Gabe Dutton Show. See y'all later.